Woo. Yeah, man, it's a little cold out here this morning, but that's all right. I'm taking my little morning walk. It's gonna be a quick 10-minute video, if that. But I figure I'd walk and talk with you guys. So yo, it's your boy, the insurance junkie, your fiduciary fella, the all-star advisor Alonzo Hall. Now return today to wipe and tap on your head with another ADH wealth solution. What's going on? This morning I'm just walking and talking. Got up early, taking my morning walk. Um, really struggling right now because I haven't smoked in a few days, and it's getting to me. Paige, what's up? So I wanted to talk today. I'm gonna release a video about it, but I also wanted to go live today. And I wanted to kind of talk about what we call LLC Twitter. And what I mean is, we got a lot of people who are popping off about LLCs and getting your businesses, and I want to make sure to help point people in the right direction. So things like an LLC, until you're really pulling in a certain amount of money, you really want to stay away from it, because if you get an LLC, the clock starts ticking. So once you start an LLC, you got 5 years. In that 5 years, if you don't turn a profit, you end up being considered a hobby. If you're considered a hobby, you can no longer do those write-offs and things. Mentos gum. Okay. I'm going to do that. I'm going to definitely do that. But if you have that LLC, you got 5 years. Once that clock starts ticking, if you ain't turning a profit, you're considered a hobby. So now a lot of those write-offs and things are unavailable to you. Also, the piercing of the corporate veil is fairly easy as an LLC. And unless you really have assets that can be taken away from you, you're not protecting yourself from anything. So unless you own your home, and when I say own your home, I don't mean, Young Riaz, what up? When I say own your home, I don't mean that you're paying a mortgage. I mean your home is owned free and clear. You don't owe any money on it. And, if you wanted to sell it, you would get all the profit. You wouldn't have to pay the bank off. Right? So if you sell your house for $250,000, you get the whole $250,000. You don't give the bank $100,000 to satisfy your mortgage and keep 150 grand. No, you keep the whole 250,000. That's what I mean by owning your home free and clear. Now, if you have some other, valuable assets, maybe, but most Americans really don't, and they're not in the position to do so. The reason I say so is because when it comes to taxes, a Schedule C or a C corporation is just a flow through. I'll give you guys an example. I have been self-employed since 2008. I've been filing a Schedule C since 2008. Basically, that is a C Corp on my taxes. But I do not have an LLC. See, I am self-employed. As a financial advisor, being self-employed means that I work for me. And when I file my taxes, I don't pay regular tax on the money that I earn. So the money that I earn is not taxed, and I have to pay taxes differently. So what you end up doing when you start an LLC is you tend to place more tax burden on yourself. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to get an LLC because I can write everything off. You can write certain things off to a certain degree. Prime example, I bought some clothes last year. I bought suit and tie. Now, most of the suit and ties that I bought, I can't write off because the clothes, and people get this confused all the time, even their accountants do it, and they write off the clothes. You cannot write off clothes if you can wear them for more than one purpose. So what does that mean? Unless I have a shirt that says, Alonzo's garage, right? Then I can't write it off, because if it's just like a suit and tie, I can wear that suit and tie to church. I could wear that suit and tie to the club. I could wear that suit and tie anywhere. So they don't consider that specific attire germane to my business. Even though me, I do wear a suit and tie, they won't let you write it off. Now, how do you get around that? Well, it needs to be monogrammed. So now mine is monogrammed with the logo of my company. Now it's considered work attire. But again, a lot of people get misled when it comes to even starting their business structure. Oftentimes, it's because for years they don't get bothered. And they think, well, you said after 3 or 5 years, I'm a hobby and the IRS is going to shut me down. No, the IRS needs to see a certain amount. Okay. Just talking about the 80,000 they're hiring. They didn't hire those 80,000 agents overnight. That's going to be over the course of a decade. A. And B, yes, the lower income individuals are going to be the ones that get struck, because they're going to give off the most red flags, because wealthy individuals have the money, good morning, to do things like sit with a financial advisor like myself, who's going to help them avoid taxes. Whereas your average American who starts an LLC for their YouTube channel is not going to be able to afford, or not going to consider affording, a financial advisor. So they're not going to end up learning the tax saving strategies. So they end up putting themselves in a bad position. Now, again, I'm not knocking your hustle for getting an LLC. Definitely, there are situations where you can do so. One of those situations where you should get an LLC, no matter what kind of assets you have, is certain business types. So that's like service, right? So service, I mean, if you're, physically touching people or preparing their food. So if you're like doing a daycare or cutting hair, you want to have an LLC, right? If you're catering or baking cakes or something, you want to have an LLC, because those are limiting your liability if somebody gets food poisoning, or somebody gets, an illness from a cut on their head. But if you have a YouTube channel, you're not going to face that kind of stuff. You might have a tort, which is something that you say that's harmful to someone, but you're probably not going to be able to keep that corporate veil from being pierced. And like I said, folks, this was going to be a real quick video. I just wanted to go live and blab. I was halfway through my half-hour walk, well, more than halfway, half-hour walk, by the time I got up there with y'all. Oh, I would have put the water bottles out. But that just kind of the way things worked out. Babe, I didn't know the water went out today. I didn't put the jugs out. I don't even know where my wife went. Babe. At any rate, so yeah, guys, it's a crazy thing to see. That unfortunately people end up not knowing, because the IRS doesn't end up getting around to you. They either require you to have a certain amount of money, just like when you see people get arrested for shoplifting or boosting from stores, right? They'll let you boost. You stole $500 worth of stuff. Okay. You stole $5,000 worth of stuff. Okay. Now, when you finally steal $10,000 worth of stuff, the guys come out and they prosecute you, because it needs to be at a certain amount for it to be worth their while, right? So it's the same thing with your LLCs. A lot of people end up not making money, and then they never even shut down the LLC, and they never talk about it, right? The same thing applies for stuff like people getting scammed by Wall Street Trapper. You'll always hear the people who are like, I made $2 off of 5 cents in investment, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, you'll hear about those, but you'll never hear the guys who are like, I got scammed by DJ Envy and Caesar Pena, right? Until you had somebody like Tony the Closer and JT the Pocket Watcher actually put them on blast, right? If you end up somebody comes out who has a calling or an audience the size of Tony the Closer against Wall Street Trapper, you're gonna find out he's done more harm than good. Like I said, because I have a video bashing on Wall Street Trapper, and it's a bunch of unfortunately idiots. Oh, he came out with these two plays and da 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 da. You know who also came out with plays? Probably who he watched: MSNBC, CNBC, and Fox News or Bloomberg. And then he saw something they were talking about, and then suddenly he drops the play to y'all. It's kind of like how I showed y'all with with my other video, destroying an options trader course guy, where I broke down to him. I was like, "Hey, what about the $25,000 requirement? This, that, and the third?" Because he was talking about how his students invest with $10 and da 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 da. And I was like, "Well, let's go to Google. FINRA says in order to day trade, you need $25,000. So where are all your forex and day trader and options traders getting these $25,000? Oh, they're charging you idiots to take their course, and then they're trading from their course." And then somebody actually showed me a great way that people are pulling the wool over your eyes with these screenshots, because they can go do a screenshot of anybody's stuff, right? Like if I do a screenshot of this right now, I can crop out all the words and just put, my picture up there, and then you'll see my picture, right? Shoot, just like the picture of my avatar, right? You don't see the rest of the background. You just see a small circle, my head, and the brick wall. You don't see the entire building behind it, right? Well, that's the same thing that's going to happen when people are like, yeah, get an LLC or invest this way, right? I'm going to do another video breaking down what a prospectus is, because if you're investing and this person can't give you a prospectus, then you're not investing. Most people don't even know what a prospectus is. I'd ask for somebody to go to a Primerican who tells you to buy term and invest the rest, or Dave Ramsey, better yet, who tells you to buy term and invest the rest. And I have no problem with you buying term and invest in the rest, because I can sell those products, right? So the reason you'll see a lot of agents who are against buy term and invest the rest is because they don't have the licensure to sell those products. I have the licensure to sell those products. I'm against buy term and invest the rest because I know the difference. Again, they might tell you that bullshit. Oh, one agent, if they sell you whole life, they get paid more. Yeah, I get paid more on a whole life policy because likely you are paying more into the whole life policy. But if all things are equal, if you come to me and you say, listen, Alonzo, I want to buy life insurance. I don't care whether it's term or whole life, but I don't want to spend one penny over $100. Guess what? I get paid the same whether you spend $100 a month on a $1 million term insurance policy or $100 a month on a $100,000 whole life insurance policy. Now, the benefit is if you spend $100 a month on a term life policy, the insurance company benefits because 99% of term life insurance don't pay out. If you spend $100 a month on that $100,000 whole life policy, the insurance company benefits because 26% of the time, whole life insurance doesn't pay out. Why? Because on both ends, people stop paying their bill or their premium. So in term life, I thought term life insurance, I was giving people credit. I was like, oh yeah, the reason term life insurance doesn't pay out is because people outlive their term. Meaning that if you have a 10-year term, you live 11 years. If you have a 20-year term, you live 21 years, right? Or fuck it, if you have a 10-year term, you live 10 years and 1 day. Because the day after that 10 years, you have no more life insurance. If you have a 20-year term and you live 20 years and 1 day, well, on day 364 of that 20-year term, if you die, they'll pay you money. On day 365 of that 20-year term, if you die, they'll pay your family money. On day 366, you no longer have life insurance. So let's say you're in the hospital dying, and it's day 355, and you're in the hospital for a week. Well, if you die on day 364, the insurance company will pay out. If you die on day 366, so you're like, oh, his term policy is still in force, and he got it, January 2nd, the year 2001. Let's say it's a 20-year term. Let's say you got it January 2nd, the year 2000, right? And today is January 2nd, 2024. And you're in your hospital bed and you're dying and you're holding on, and they're like, he's got a few minutes. Y'all better, keep him in your prayers. And let's say you hold on till 11:59 p.m. and then the clock strikes 12 midnight. And then your life support goes beep, beep, beep. Well, your family's going to go, man, I'm sorry Lonzo died, but at least we got the money to bury him. Let's call the insurance company and get that claim in. And then you call up New York Life or MetLife or Mutual of Omaha or State Farm or whoever you got your life insurance with, and you say, hey, I'm sorry to tell you guys, I need to put in a claim. So and so died. They're going to go, oh, sorry, he doesn't have coverage. His coverage expired yesterday. If you want to continue the coverage, you'd have to have let us know before today so that we could continue to increase your premium, because it won't be $100 a month anymore. It'll be $100 a day. But he's dead now, so there's nothing we can do. Whereas with that whole life policy, same scenario. He dies. That money at least goes to you. You're still going to be able to have that money come to you guys, right? But let's look at another scenario, because everybody always talks about, well, what happens if something happens to you and you die? Let's look at the realities of life. More often, something's going to happen to you and you're going to live. So it would make even more sense to have life insurance, and it would make even more sense to have permanent life insurance that has living benefits. Because if something happens to you and you die, term insurance is just as good as whole life. It pays out the same. But if something happens to you and you live, term insurance is going to be like, you didn't die? Nope, we ain't got nothing for you. Permanent insurance will be like, you didn't die? Nope. Are you ill? Do you have an injury? Do you have a terminal illness where the doctor says you're going to die in 12 months or less? Yes, we'll give you 75% of that 100,000 up front. So that's $75,000 tax free. Oh, you have a chronic illness where, you can't perform two activities, critical illness where you can't perform two activities of daily living, right? Maybe you had a car accident and now you got to rehab and learn how to walk and talk and eat all over again. We'll give you 50% of your death benefit, $50,000 cash, tax free. Maybe you've had end-stage renal failure, which is kidney dialysis, right? Maybe you went blind due to diabetes. Maybe you had a stroke or a heart attack. And guess what? You're still alive. Well, the life insurance will give you 25% of that $100,000 or $25,000 tax free. And you still got a death benefit. Right? Because that's the difference between different accounts. Right? She'd actually asked me to show you guys, and I did a video, and it was a young lady breaking down how the 401k, Roth IRA, and IUL compare, and how the IUL, if properly funded at $2,000 a month, will beat the bejesus out of everything. I know there's a young lady, Tam from Women in Linux, who says she invests $2,000 a month in the stock market, and I'm like, how are all these people so financially savvy and they haven't thought of life insurance. Why? Because it's not advertised to you as anything other than a death benefit, right? If I advertise to you Jordans as, oh yeah, these are just some basketball, these are just some sneakers, right? Versus these are Jordans, right? And then let's break it down like this, right? Since people want to break down term insurance and whole life insurance, I'm gonna break it down to Jordans, right? Term life insurance is like having Team Jordans. So yeah, it has the Jordan name on it, but it's not really a Jordan. Versus if you're wearing Jordan 1s or Jordan 11s or Jordan 13s, right? Those are quote unquote real Jordans, not Team Jordans. So if you get term insurance, just know you're buying Team Jordans. You're not buying Jordans. Or we can do another brand. If you get term insurance, you're getting US Polo Association. You're not getting Ralph Lauren. But everybody wants Ralph Lauren. Well, guess what? Because all the people who buy Ralph Lauren and they know that it costs more than US Polo Association. Just like whole life is going to cost more than term life insurance. But again, if I'm wearing US Polo Association, I'm getting clowned because people are like, oh, you didn't spend a lot of money on that. So it's the same thing with term life insurance and whole life insurance. You get term life insurance, you're generally wearing US Polo Association, not Ralph Lauren. At any rate, ladies and gentlemen, I got some phone calls to make, so I'm about to hop off here. Make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth or to schedule an appointment with a licensed financial professional, the links are in the description of this video. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, wipe ass. Work in progress every day and see success. Wipe ass. Work in progress every day and see success. Wipe ass. Work in progress every day and see success. And remember, folks, when people challenge you, they don't challenge you to challenge you, but they challenge you to challenge you. Accept the challenge. Salute.